amazing morning. For today, we're going to have geometric sequence. Okay, let's have the first activity, divide and conquer. Find the ratio of the second number to the first number. So we have in here 10 items. Let's have number 1, 2, and 8. So 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. So the ratio is 4. Negative 3 and 9. So 9 over negative 3 is equal to negative 3. Therefore, the ratio is negative 3. 1 and 1 half. So 1 half over 1 is equal to 1 half. Negative 5 and negative 10. So negative 10 over negative 5 is equal to 2. 12 and 4. So 4 divided by 12 is equal to 1/3. Then we have negative 49 and 7. 7 over negative 49 is equal to negative 1 over 7. Number 7, 1/4 and 1/2. So copy the second fraction, which is 1/2, multiply by the reciprocal of the first fraction. So that will be 1 times 4 is equal to 4. 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Therefore, 4 divided by 2 is 2. A squared and a cubed. So a cubed divided by a squared, no, is equal to a. K minus 1 and k. So that will be k over k minus 1. 3m and 3mr. So this will be 3mr over 3m is equal to r. So we can diminish 3 and m. So we're going to get r. Let's have the first illustrative example. The number pattern 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on is a geometric sequence. 2 is multiplied to any term to get the next term. Therefore, we can say that 2 is the common ratio. The common ratio may be an integer or fraction, negative or positive. It can be found by dividing any term by the term that precedes it. So the number line below illustrates the sequence. So each term except the first term is found by multiplying the previous term by 2. So in here we have 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. And the pattern will be so on and so forth. Using the picture above, we illustrated and proved that the common ratio is equal to 2. Now let us determine the next two terms in the given sequence. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on. Since the common ratio is 2 and the first term is 1, 1 times 2 is equal to 2, second term. 2 times 2 is equal to 4, third term. 4 times 2 is equal to 8, fourth term. 8 times 2 is equal to 16, fifth term. 16 times 2 is equal to 32, which is the sixth term. 32 times 2 is equal to 64, which is the seventh term. Since the common ratio that we have is 2, so we have already 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64. So the next two terms of the geometric sequence is 32 and 64. So what do you think will be the 8th and the 9th terms of this sequence? If your answer is 128 for the 8th term and 256 for the 9th term, you are correct. Find the common ratio of 6, 12, 24, and 48. For us to get the common ratio, we're just going to divide the second term divided by the first term. Second term is 12 divided by the first term, that is 6. So 12 divided by 6 is equal to 2. Therefore, your common ratio is 2. Our next task is to write the next two terms of the following geometric sequences. 1. We have 3, 6, 12, 24, and so on. 2, 3, 1, 1/3, 1/9, and so on. Negative 5, 10, negative 20, and so on for number 3. For number 4, we have negative 1, negative 4, negative 16, and so on. Okay, let's have the first one. Number 1, we have 3, 6, 12, 24, and so on. So for us to get the common ratio, that will serve as a sub 2 over a sub 1. So 6 divided by 3, that is equivalent to 2. Since our common ratio is 2, then the next two terms are 48 and 96. We multiply 24 times 2, then 48. 48 times 2 is 96. And number 2, we have 3, 1, 1/3, 1/9, and so on. So our common ratio is just 1 divided by 3, or 1/3. Since our common ratio is 1/3, we're going to multiply 1/9 times 1/3, and that will give you 1 over 27. 1 over 27 times 1/3 is equal to 1 over 81. Therefore, the next two terms of the sequence is 1 over 27 and 1 over 81. On number 3, we have negative 5, 10, negative 20, and so on. So our common ratio is equal to 10 divided by negative 5. 10 divided by negative 5 is equal to negative 2. Since our common ratio is negative 2, then we're going to multiply negative 2 with negative 20. Negative 20 times negative 2 is positive 40. 40 times negative 2 is negative 80. Therefore, our next two terms are 40 and negative 80. And number 4, we have negative 1, negative 4, negative 16, and so on. So, the common ratio is equal to the second term over the first term. So, negative 4 divided by negative 1. Negative 4 divided by negative 1 is equal to positive 4. Since our common ratio is 4, then we're going to multiply 4 with negative 16. Negative 16 times 4 is negative 64. Negative 64 times 4 is negative 256. Therefore, the next two terms are negative 64 and negative 256. Our next task is I tell you what you are. State whether each of the following sequences is geometric or not. So we have in here 1 to 6. For number 1, we have 5, 20, 80, 320. Number 2, 7 square root of 2, 5 square root of 2, 3 square root of 2, square root of 2, and so on. Number 3, we have 5, negative 10, 20, and negative 40. Number 4, we have 1, 0 0.6, 0 0.36, 0 0.216, and so on. Number 5, we have 10 over 3, 10 over 6, 10 over 9, and 10 over 15. For number 6, we have 4, 0, 0, 0, and so on. Let's have activity 3. I'll tell you what you are. State whether each of the following sequences is geometric or not. So we have 5, 20, 80, 320. If we're going to get the ratio of 20 divided by 5, that is 4. 80 divided by 20 is 4 as well. Therefore, we have our common ratio, that is 4. And we can say that this sequence is said to be a geometric sequence. Number 2, obviously, we just subtracted 2 square root of 2. No? So, therefore, this is not geometric sequence. And number 3, we have negative 10 divided by 5 is a negative 2. 20 divided by negative 10 is a negative 2 as well. Therefore, our common ratio is negative 2, and this is a geometric sequence. Number 4 is 1, 0 0.6, 0 0.36, and 0 0.216, and so on. This is a geometric sequence since we have 0.6 divided by 1 is 0.6, 0.36 divided by 0.6 is 0.6. Therefore, our common ratio is 0.6. And this is a geometric sequence. Number 5, it is not a geometric sequence. Na? Even though we have the same numerator, we don't have the common ratio. Number 6, we have 4, 0, 0, 0, and so on. So 0 divided by 4 is 0, 0 divided by 0 is 0. Therefore, our common ratio is 0, and we can say that this sequence is a geometric sequence. So this is our learning task to determine the common ratio and the next three terms of the following geometric sequence. Write your answers on the space provided. Item number 1 is done for you. Number 1, 4, 8, 16, and so on. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Therefore, our common ratio is 2. For us to get the next three terms, we're just going to multiply the term with 2. 2 times 16 is 32. 32 times 2 is 64. 64 times 2 is 128. Therefore, the next three terms are 32, 64, and 128.